In late 2023, an unexpected anomaly from deep space captured NASA's attention. A spacecraft located far beyond our solar system, Voyager 1, began transmitting a bizarre, repeating pattern of data. The engineers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, were stunned as their screens filled with a consistent stream of binary code, an unchanging loop of ones and zeros. This wasn't random static or background noise. It was a structured, deliberate signal that seemed intelligent in nature. What made this development even more astonishing was the distance from which the transmission originated, over 15 billion miles from Earth. Radio waves traveling at the speed of light took more than 22 hours to reach us. Yet this binary stream persisted every single day without fail. A mysterious beacon from the edge of the interstellar void, an area no human or machine had explored before. The persistence of the signal was unsettling. It didn't fade, change, or disappear. Instead, it remained strong and unwavering for months, transmitting the same enigmatic pattern as though Voyager 1 were trying to communicate, but in a language we could not decipher. Scientists quickly realized this wasn't a transient fault or an ordinary malfunction. Something was consistently transmitting a structured code from beyond the solar system's boundary, between our star's influence and the wider galaxy, and nobody could explain why. The source of the transmission was none other than Voyager 1, humanity's most distant and enduring spacecraft. After decades of reliable performance, the aging probe suddenly began behaving erratically, sending data that made no sense. What troubled NASA wasn't that Voyager 1 was still communicating, because it was, but rather what it was communicating. Engineers verified that the signal was not corrupted or degraded by interference. The binary code was too precise and repetitive to be accidental. Yet every attempt to decode the pattern with Earth-based systems resulted in nonsense. It was as though the spacecraft had adopted an entirely new method of communication. More puzzling still was the location of the transmission. Voyager 1 had passed beyond the heliopause, the boundary where the solar wind ends and true interstellar space begins. It was transmitting from a region untouched by any other human-made object. This unfamiliar environment, filled with cosmic, radiation and unknown particles, may have played a role in the spacecraft's behavior, but to scientists and engineers, the consistency of the signal only deepened the mystery. This was not a weak or fading broadcast. The signal was strong and clear, just utterly incomprehensible. Day after day, the same pattern repeated without variation. It felt deliberate, as if the probe were urgently trying to convey a message, looping a call for help across 15 billion miles. As word of the anomaly leaked to the public, the internet erupted with theories. Social media, science forums, and news outlets buzzed with speculation. Was Voyager 1 broadcasting a message from alien intelligence? Had it encountered something in deep space that reprogrammed its systems? Or was this simply a cosmic glitch from radiation exposure? Despite the wild public speculation, NASA engineers remained grounded. They worked tirelessly to understand the nature of this repeating signal. Their first step was to determine if Voyager 1 was still operational. After running diagnostic checks, they discovered something remarkable. The spacecraft was fully functional. It was still receiving and executing commands from Earth, its attitude control systems were stable, and its trajectory remained intact. Voyager 1, it seemed, was alive and well. However, despite its operational status, all scientific and engineering telemetry, data like temperature readings, power levels, and instrument statuses, had been replaced by the same repetitive binary pattern. NASA described it technically as a valid signal with no usable data, but behind the jargon, concern was growing. One engineer likened it to making a phone call across 15 billion miles. The line is open, but instead of hearing a voice, all you get is a continuous, unchanging tone. Communication remained possible, but understanding had vanished. Nothing like this had ever been seen in the history of deep space exploration. A spacecraft that could receive instructions but not send back coherent data was unprecedented. The anomaly pointed toward a deeper issue, one that threatened the viability of humanity's longest-running space mission. Engineers focused their investigation on Voyager's flight data subsystem, FDS, the core processor responsible for formatting and transmitting data. Built in the 1970s, this system had performed flawlessly for nearly half a century, despite being based on technology older than the first IBM PC Voyager probes had encountered communication problems before. In 2010, Voyager 2 began transmitting scrambled data after a single memory bit flipped, likely caused by a cosmic ray. Engineers fixed it with a memory reset. But this new issue with Voyager 1 was different. It was persistent, highly structured, and immune to standard recovery techniques. "We've seen random glitches before," one NASA expert noted, "but never anything this consistent or prolonged." It appeared as though Voyager 1 had become trapped in a feedback loop, endlessly broadcasting the same encoded sequence. Standard reset commands and recovery procedures were attempted, but nothing worked. Engineers then considered a risky maneuver, forcing the spacecraft to perform a memory dump. In early March 2024, after months of frustration, they issued a custom-built command they nicknamed the Poke. This command would force Voyager 1's FDS to send a complete snapshot of its memory back to Earth. Because of Voyager's distance, each command took 22.5 hours to reach the spacecraft, and another 22.5 hours for a response, a full 45-hour round trip. The team had only one shot to get it right. A mistake could have silenced the probe forever. On March 3, 2024, after the long wait, something changed. The repeating pattern Voyager had been sending for months altered slightly. It was still indecipherable, but no longer monotonous. This variation gave engineers a glimmer of hope. Something in the memory dump was different, possibly a clue buried deep within. That clue proved vital. After meticulous analysis by engineers at NASA's Deep Space Network, parts of the memory dump were decoded. They revealed a corrupted section of Voyager's memory. The failure originated in a specific area of the spacecraft's formatting code, the instructions that told the FDS how to organize data before transmission. A tiny chip, holding about 3% of the FDS's memory, had failed. This critical component, smaller than a fingernail and built in the 1970s, had likely been damaged by cosmic radiation after 46 years of service. With that chip lost, Voyager 1 had forgotten how to speak in Earth's language. Radiation damage was the likely culprit. Beyond the heliopause, Voyager 1 was unshielded from cosmic rays, high-energy particles from distant supernovae and other galactic phenomena. Over the years, this relentless bombardment had slowly degraded the spacecraft's electronics until failure occurred. The failed memory chip had effectively erased Voyager's ability to properly encode its data, replacing meaningful communication with a repeating error signal. The public's reaction to the incident was overwhelming. News outlets covered the message from the edge of the solar system, and social media buzzed with theories, updates, and support. People were fascinated by the idea that a 46-year-old spacecraft was still trying to reach out across billions of miles. When NASA confirmed the nature of the failure and their successful intervention, the news became one of 2024's most widely discussed science stories. Voyager 1's official account even tweeted a simple, touching message: "Hi, it's me." It went viral instantly. The internet predictably was ablaze with fringe theories. Some insisted that the binary pattern was an encrypted alien message. Others speculated that Voyager had encountered a sentient force in interstellar space. YouTube was flooded with videos claiming the code had been decoded. But NASA stood firm. This was a hardware failure, not a message from another civilization. The memory chip's degradation explained everything, and the successful repair confirmed their diagnosis. Still, conspiracies thrived, just as they had during Voyager 2's 2010 bitflip incident, when some claimed aliens had hacked the probe. In reality, a single reset had resolved that issue. The public fascination with cosmic signals is not new. From the rhythmic pulses of pulsars, originally dubbed LGM for Little Green Men, to the unexplained WOW signal in 1977 and more recent fast radio bursts, FRBs, humanity has a long history of interpreting mysterious patterns from space as potential signs of extraterrestrial life. Most have been explained by natural astrophysical phenomena. Voyager's 2023-2024 anomaly now joins that lineage, a mystery rooted in science, not science fiction. Ultimately, the repeating signal from Voyager 1 wasn't an alien transmission. It was something more profound, a digital cry for help from our most distant creation. A spacecraft built in the 1970s, alone in interstellar space, encountered a problem and sent a coded signal back to Earth. And we heard it. We understood it. And we fixed it. This episode stands as one of the greatest feats of long-distance troubleshooting in technological history. Using modern tools, NASA engineers repaired a machine that predates most home computers, across a gap of 15 billion miles. When Voyager's memory failed, it didn't stop functioning. It continued its mission the only way it could, by sending a pattern. That pattern saved it.